This is our women's collegiate novice 8 and women's open 8, races 113 and 114. We have 7 boats in this race. In lane 1, Cal. Lane 2, Texas. Lane 3, Washington. Lane 4, USC. Lane 5, University of San Diego. Lane 6, UC San Diego. Lane 7, Washington. 7 boats across, 2 races going simultaneously here.
Yeah, and one of the things Shane and I were talking about earlier is just the depth of each program. It's going to field kind of a different level of athlete across the board. So a lot of these big varsity Division One programs are able to field a 3v8, a 4v8, a 5v8 just in their varsity squad. In a lot of programs, that novice crew is often also raced as a third varsity. So we're going to see a good stretch of different levels of athlete and experience here in this race. This is the Women's Open 8, the Carly Copley Cup, in honor of the daughter of Liz and Michael Copley. Her name was Carly, who passed away at an early age due to leukemia. So this trophy really quite special here. And as these women's collegiate, novice, and open 8s race for that trophy, we're going to see a lot of good speed coming out of the water here between California, Texas, Washington, and the women of USC.
And Adrian, as you mentioned, the depth of a program can have a significant impact on the number of boats that teams are able to field. How do you think that that plays out in a team's overall strategy and how they put boats together when they show up to races like this? Because some of these smaller programs that don't quite have that depth might not be able to even put those boats together. So how do they make those decisions as to what boats they're going to enter into when they have to be a little bit more selective based off of the depth of their program?
I think that sometimes it really comes down to wanting to get that high level experience. So with novices here, true novices out in the water against some very experienced, perhaps with international experience coming out of these Division One, Washington, California, Texas, the caliber of those crews, you're putting yourself up against the best in the nation, and that is really quite a unique experience for a novice to have within their first year of rowing. And so back to the placement, it does look like California is going to hold on to this top spot right now, looking like they have a 6-seat advantage over Texas. Texas in lane 2, just behind Texas now with a little bit of open water back. It's going to be Washington. Washington in that bright yellow boat with the white blades, easy to see as they come down the course in lane 3. And then back behind them, we'll take a look with a little bit better visual to see if we can get some placements with lanes 4 through 7.
And here we see those top 2 teams making their way to our beach area. You can see those referees' boats slowly gliding by in the backdrop there, but Cal sitting in that lead, Texas in 2 next to them. Those 2 boats looking like they are holding steady in their positions, but dropping back slightly as Washington from that 3-boat race. They were a little bit tighter just a moment ago. Texas and Cal moving ahead now. Not having gotten a clear picture yet for USC, University of San Diego, UC San Diego, or Washington. We'll be able to pick them up when the cameras get to them, but currently we're watching this Cal-Texas duel happening at the lead of the pack with Washington sitting off the back. That might be a bit much for open water as far as being able to claw back. However, between those 2 crews at the front, there's still a chance that something could happen.
All right, and rates lifting as they come a little bit closer to the line. Texas trying furiously to come back on California's lead, but might be a little bit too late for that. But who knows what is capable in this final about 100 meters here as California tries to hold off the Longhorns. But I think Cal's going to be able to hold on to it just right now by about 4 seats as they come towards the finish. Texas and California pushing each other so hard that they now have about a length of open water between themselves and our third place crew from the University of Washington. But here they go. It is Cal and now Texas with the Huskies coming across third. USC in lane 4th will be your 4th place crew. And then that is the second Washington entry. That is actually a true novice boat there out in lane 7. That is going to be your 5th place boat. They are followed by University of San Diego and then finally UC San Diego.
Off and running now, our men's Open 8, the Anderson Borthwick Memorial Trophy, presented by SDRC. We have 6 boats in this race. Lane 3 was a scratch, so lane 3 will be open as this race comes down. Lane 1, Cal. Lane 2, Cal. Lane 4, UC Santa Barbara. Lane 5, UC Davis. Lane 6, UC Santa Barbara. Lane 7, UC Santa Barbara. And this being the Anderson Borthwick Memorial Trophy presented by SDRC, Andy Borthwick was a San Diego civic leader whose many talents made him an invaluable member of the Southern California community. He was an oarsman on championship crews for the San Diego Rowing Club and a prime mover in establishing the San Diego Crew Classic.
And that was a quick turnaround for both of those Cal crews as we saw one boat, the lane 1, rowing in the Cal Cup, and then the other boat rowing in the 2V event earlier today. So kind of had a chance to come back to land, maybe do a little stretch, a little recalibration, and here they go. This is a little inter-squad squabble here between the 2 California boats up front, lanes 1 and lane 2. See who comes out on top between that 4V and Frosh 8. Back behind them, it is going to be a battle between UC Santa Barbara and UC Davis. We've got 3 UC Santa Barbara boats. Again, a testament to the depth of that program and the number of athletes that they attract to row on the waters of Lake Kachuma. Really quite a huge club program with many years of success. And we're seeing that play out here over the course of this weekend at the Crew Classic.
We are watching this live race now as we see Cal sitting in the 1 and 2 positions off the front. Currently sitting to the back. We'll wait until we have a better perspective, but that is a 4-boat race between UC Santa Barbara's 3 boats and UC Davis. We'll call those UC Santa Barbara boats A, B, and C just in order of their lane assignments, which are lane 4, lane 6, and lane 7. UC Davis splitting them up there in lane 5. So a lot of UCSB jerseys out there on the water right now. A lot of yellow because we've got all UC programs in this race. Cal, UC Santa Barbara, and UC Davis. Lots of yellow and navy, eh?
That's right. We just need UC Irvine to be in this race, and we have a good complement of all of the UC schools that have a rowing program. Uh, Oh, I guess we'd have to add UCLA in there as well. And I think there is one of those races that's coming up where we've got all the UC programs represented. But right now, it is all about California as they battle it out up front. Lanes 1 and lane 2, the Frosh and the 4V going after each other, both exhibiting some very, very speedy cadence. I have them clocked at about 36 strokes a minute. Right now, it does look like lane 1, the Cal Frosh boat, getting the better of that 4V in lane 2. So right now, Coxon looking across at the bow ball of that second California boat. as they come towards the finish here and coming into the spectator area. You're going to see those white tents along the shoreline, and that's where we'll see a little bit better visual from land about exactly the placement between California and the rest of the field.
And you got to think that for both Cal and UCSB, they're seeing other boats from within their program. This is almost a for bragging rights race for them. They get to come off the water and they have seen how the others have performed. They've raced against each other in practice, I'm sure. This is definitely not a first time that they've seen their own crews, but under the heat of pressure on the competition line, they get to see how they perform against one another. And I got to imagine there's some fun in that, but also some bragging rights that get to come out of the weekend.
Yeah, it's a little race day seat race. Always, good for the coaches to kind of take a look and see who can step up on race day. And certainly there is a lot of movement between boats throughout the course of a spring season. I just saw that Cal boat that's in the lead, that coxswain looking across. You got to think that he's probably asking for open water against that other crew as they come into the final strokes here of this men's Open 8. This is the Anderson Bothwick Memorial Trophy.
And here come Cal and Cal, lane one, lane two, fighting each other for the top two positions of this men's Open 8. The Anderson Borthwick Memorial Trophy presented by SDRC. Here comes Cal A crossing the line, then Cal B. And behind from there, we have our UC Santa Barbara A, UC Davis, UC Santa Barbara B, and UC Santa Barbara C. It looks as if we may have UC Santa Barbara A and UC Davis in those next two positions, with UC Santa Barbara B off the back there, and then UC Santa Barbara C on that outside lane.
The trophy that is presented for this Open Eights race. Andy Borthwick was a San Diego civic leader whose many talents made him an invaluable member of the Southern California community. He was an oarsman on championship crews for the San Diego Rowing Club, as well as a prime mover in establishing the San Diego Crew Classic.
This is a non-rowing announcement. We have found two wallets that are sitting in the information tent. One, Diego Victor Ramirez. Please come find your wallet at the information tent, as well as Kirk O'Scully. Kirk O'Scully, please make your way to the information tent to claim your wallet.